Today's charges against Brian Giles add to a list of tragedy already connected to his name. As many of you know, he was convicted in the death and disappearance of his wife Nancy in June, a case that stymied investigators for years. We take a look back at how Nancy Giles' case overlapped with the death and disappearance of Jilly Todaro and how we ultimately got to today's developments. It's been nearly 6 years since this sit-down interview with Brian Giles. It was December of 2018, roughly 2 months since the disappearance of his wife Nancy, telling our reporter Dylan Richards at the time,
"I cry myself to sleep every night."
Nancy had not been seen since October 14th, and despite claiming to not know where Nancy is, in the same sit-down interview, Giles said he saw his wife 2 times since her disappearance.
I'm feeling hurt and a lot of depression because I miss her. I mean, there's a lot of things going through my head. You know, there's times that I did ask myself where she could be. And I mean, I even told the cops if I knew where she was, I'll tell them.
It wouldn't be until May of the following year when her remains are found buried in a shallow grave on this Johnstown walking trail. Fast forward 2 months, it's July of 2019. This is Giles in police custody, not for the death of Nancy, but for an alleged assault of a woman on a Camtran bus. It was his second run-in with the law since Nancy's disappearance. The first was after he was accused of assaulting a woman and throwing her out of a house at the beginning of June. We now know that victim to be Jilly Todaro. He was ordered to stay away from Todaro, but that unfortunately didn't happen. On December 11th of 2020, Giles is accused of assaulting Todaro again. 2 days later, she's reported missing.
Where Jilly Todaro is?
Nope. It was like when I left out the house and got arrested.
Fast forward to May of 2022. Jilly is still missing, and it's almost exactly 3 years since Nancy's body was found. The police finally have enough to charge Giles with Nancy's death and disappearance.
Did you kill Nancy?
No, I did not.
Do you know where Jilly is?
No, I do not.
Giles would remain behind bars for the next 2 years, as the road to trial was filled with motions and delays. He would maintain his innocence the entire time, finally appearing before a jury in June of this year.
Anything to say, Brian?
Yes, I am innocent. I want the world to know I'm innocent. What happened to my wife is tragic. I want to make sure that everybody understands that I may be accused of it, but they're accusing the wrong person.
But after closing arguments were made, it took the jury just 1 hour to return with a guilty verdict for murder in the first degree and aggravated assault. As he was escorted out of the courtroom, Giles continued to claim he's innocent.
Everybody got what they wanted.
But it's shortly after these elevator doors closed that investigators say they received a piece of information about where Jilly Todaro's body may be. Within an hour, a heavy investigative presence is seen at Giles's former home on Franklin Street in Johnstown. By the next day, human remains are found and later identified as Todaro. As investigators mentioned in today's press conference, there's a lot of details about what led to charges against Giles in the Todaro case that they cannot disclose right now due to the ongoing investigation. Stay with us here on 6 News. We'll be sure to bring you updates on air and online as this story develops.